What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Entre Mike, back with the Entre short for entrepreneur, and welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new, my name is Entre Mike, where we go over spot market updates, not only for hotshot trucking like we do today, but also for box trucks. We'll throw in some reefer and sprinter van in from time to time when we got time for it. This was the video last week, so these are the search results that we're going to go over. Got about 1,500 views, so a pretty good turnout. So if you guys want to see your city and state in next week's video, I literally go to the comment section, copy and paste it. Doesn't matter where you are in the country, we can search what those rates look like. And also, before we get started, in every description, we're going to have a link tree in here to where you can get 10% off for DAT1. You can see the price that you would pay if you don't go through my link, and you get the price with the link here in the description and the comment section. So I'm using DAT1 Office. You guys do not have to get the subscription though. You don't have to go any higher than DAT1 Pro. That's what I used when I was operating on the road with my box truck and with my hotshot setup. So do not, like I said, do not go past Pro in my opinion, unless you're gonna have a fleet of trucks, right? Recommended with small fleets with 3+ trucks. We are officially in the month of November though, so I just want to say shout out to you guys for rocking with the channel. Make sure you like the video before we get deep into it. But I already got up the national flatbed rates. Now, of course, hotshot truckers are not going to have the exact rates as a 53-foot flatbed, right? So hotshot trucks right now are probably averaging anywhere from 175 to about, I've seen about 240 a mile on spot market load boards when I do like a rate search for the equipment specific type, right? We may start doing some videos too where we go over like lane rates instead of just searching the actual locations like the city and states. We do from this location to that location, what does it pay on average for a hotshot truck, right? As you can see right here, reefer rates rise ahead of Thanksgiving. Good for reefers. For flatbeds, we've been pretty stagnant around that 250 a mile mark on average. And fuel price looks like we've went up about 3%, so that's not the best news in the world. I can say though, down here in the Southeast though, we haven't been too much higher than like 320 per gallon. So this is kind of nationwide, but it's state specific, of course. All right, y'all, so we got Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And to go over things really quickly, like we always do, deadhead is how many miles it takes for you to pick up your load, right? Deadhead origin. Origin is where you want to pick up. Equipment type, we're just going to go flatbed, hotshot, but we could also add flatbed. We could also add flatbed step deck, right? But most of your loads, 90% of your loads are going to come from flatbed hotshot. Load type, full and partial, 40 feet, 10,000 pounds. This is kind of the standard for a non-CDO rig. If you guys, of course, have a 30-foot trailer, you input 30. If you have a 25-foot trailer, you would put 25. But if you're going to start off and you haven't started yet, make sure you guys get you a 40-foot trailer. And we're going to search. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind the equipment type when we actually start looking at loads, and I'm going to probably point them out once we do it. But let's go ahead and look at the highest rate coming out of here. This is for a flatbed step deck, so we're going to look at the flatbed hotshot. We got Milwaukee to Hollywood, Florida, $1.71, 2,500 bucks on about 1,500 miles, 35 feet, 3,800 pounds. And I also want you guys to realize how many 40-foot loads are going to be on here. Like when you just see that they're posted, and one smart remark that brokers will make will be, you know, hey, I have a 35-foot hotshot rig. Am I able to take this 40-foot load, or is it truly 40 feet, right? And this is a 40-foot shipping container, and there'll be a smart button say, dude, I literally put 40 feet. Why are you calling? All right, so just keep that in mind before you buy a trailer. West Chicago, Illinois to Wyoming. Looks like this one got posted literally just now. So 213 a mile. Looks like the spot rate is about 214. So that's pretty spot on. Maybe you get another 50 bucks to 100 bucks. Depending on what you got to do to it. This is where if you got to tarp the load, if you got to chain a load, right? You want to charge a little bit more for your time, depending on how long it's going to take you to do the work, right? Let's see what else we got. Wilmington, Illinois to North Dakota. It's probably a dead zone. More than likely it is. 40 feet, 10,000 pounds. Usually the spot rate is closer to $3 a mile. Contract rate at 342. So this is kind of underpaying going to a market like this, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to deadhead back east in order to get your next load, like far. So let's go ahead and move on to the highest rate per mile out of here. And we're going to make sure we're paying attention to the equipment. So of course the highest is going to be a flatbed or step deck, but we're going to go to flatbed Hotshot. And we got $290 a mile to go from Illinois to Traverse City, Michigan. And you guys are going to notice overall there are going to be better loads coming out of the Midwest. This is usually where I stayed when I had my equipment. Like both of my setups, like I would rarely run, like I would probably run a little bit of South Central and Southeast, but I tried to keep my trucks here for a few weeks, and then I'd end up heading back home, because you got so many decent, like this is probably a 6-hour trip and you make $1,000 for it. You can do these all throughout the week, right? And just stay within this region. Here's another pretty good one. You got one going from Illinois to Wisconsin, right? And then you turn around and go from Wisconsin back to maybe Indiana. Like, it's just so much you can do within this 200 to 300 mile radius that I didn't like going outside of it, right? But let's go ahead and get out of Milwaukee and move on to the next search result. All right, guys, we are now in Charleston, South Carolina. Let's see what we got here. Not a lot of loads in this area. It never really is. Let's look at the highest rate per mile first. Looks like we just got one that popped up, $259 a mile, flatbed Hotshot, 10 foot or 10 feet. So it's 118 length by 96 width by 73 height. So this is a somewhat taller load at about 6 feet tall, right? $650 on 290 miles. Not much going on here. So let's go ahead and look at the highest rates and get on out of here. So we got $4,000 on about 2,200 miles. You need mega ramps for it. General goods on mega ramps. That just sounds weird, I guess. What else we got? We got $2,000 to go from South Carolina to Kansas. Catwalks. My mouse is acting up, man. Let's move on to the next city and state. Yeah, we had Bloomington, Illinois, but I'm gonna skip this one just because we were just in Wisconsin. I want to give the other people some love too, just because this video won't be too long. And I want to go over this real quick. Like, it's not a lot of loads. Highest rate per mile is $1.43. So just keep this in mind, that Virginia is not a sexy market for flatbed or flatbed Hotshot. Highest rate is $12.50, under $1 a mile to go to Texas. So we're not going to stay here too long. Just know that that is somewhat of a dead zone. Good to look at though. Like I said, Bloomington, Illinois, you know, about 120 miles away from Chicago. This, I mean, give me a second. My bad, I'm over here clicking too much. But yeah, highest rate per miles are still pretty high out of this area. I mean, you got basically, what, 4 is flatbed or step deck. So flatbed Hotshot, $290 a mile, the same load going from Crystal Lake, Illinois over to Traverse City. So yeah, like I said, these are going to be a lot of the same loads that were coming out of Wisconsin due to the 200-mile radius. So I do want to move on. I don't want to stay here too long. Let's go ahead and go to the next city and state. All right, and the last one we have is Dallas, Texas. Like I said, Dallas isn't looking too sexy right now as far as results. I'm really curious to see what Houston's looking like if Dallas is at 90. But for the highest rates, we got $3,200 to go up to Washington, $2,500 to go to New York. So one thing about Texas is you're going to be going everywhere. It's not like a specific market that you're going to stay in when you go down to Texas. So you got to be ready to travel. Highest rate per mile, just over $2 a mile for a flatbed Hotshot. Going to Arkansas, you got a lot of Texas to Texas loads, paying pretty well. As you can see, Odessa, you got Amarillo. So yeah, nothing crazy here. I do want to check Houston real quick because we did have that search result. Houston has a few more loads, about 10% more loads than Dallas did, 10 to 20%. Highest rate is going to Maine for $1.40, way under the spot market average. It's paying about 80 cents less than it should for this type of rate. Highest rate per mile is $2 a mile. Still, same load going from Caldwell, Texas to Laredo. So those are, they're reflecting about the same across the industry. But with that being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Make sure you guys drop down your city and state. If you guys need a trucking insurance quote and you stay to the end and you just want to know what your insurance rates will be before you get into the industry, I am a full-time insurance agent here with LogRock. Fill out the quote form that's in the description. And also, if you guys need freight factoring, so I'm partnered with Riviera Finance. They have so many headquarters across the entire United States, over 25 locations. So if you guys want to meet them in person or deal with them virtually, they can help you and assist you in any way. And like I said, factoring companies are going to be how you get paid for your loads. But I'll see you guys on next week's video. Peace.